Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Glow with Lola, the podcast for personal growth, wellness, and real life transformation. I'm your host, Lola, sharing my journey, lessons, and tools that help me glow from within. From grief to healing to balancing hormones and self care, we keep it real, we keep it raw and unfiltered. So grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's glow together. I have my glass of water over here ready to start this podcast episode. I am super excited to be back, and I hope you guys are excited too. For those who haven't watched the previous podcast episode, just to give you a little bit of behind the scenes, because I feel like I've been sharing my podcast journey on my Instagram page, Glow with Lola. I've changed my microphone and the setup, as you can clearly see. No more big mics pulling out. Those mics actually gave me a lot of headache, and I had tons of issues with them from losing an actual file connection. So last episode, the mics were plugged in, but the recording system did not capture the mic, and it ended up using the audio system in the phone instead of the actual mic. And if I have guests over, them moving away from the mic, anyways, it caused me a lot of problems. So I ditched those big mics and changed to a little smaller mics. And so far, it's been a very pleasantly and easy to use. So I'm super excited. I'm always looking to improve this podcast, make it better, change, upgrade, whatever I can to make it more pleasable and enjoyable for my audience. But if you're back, we are on our 4 series episode in regards to women's hormonal cycle. So we have 28 days. The previous podcast, we talked about the follicular phase. Now we're going to talk about ovulation. I feel like ovulation is the most exciting phase out of all. Like the first 2 phases are amazing. That's when we're rising, we are at our peak performance, diet wise, energy level wise, mood wise. But after ovulation, that's when we're like we crash. So let's learn about ovulation. Now, ladies, it's really important to remember this is the phase no one really explained to us. Okay, if we go back to school, we're always taught that you're gonna bleed once a month. Here's a tampon, here's a pad, you're gonna have some cramps, some food cravings. That's it. Use a condom when you have sex, and that's it. That's the only things I knew about woman's cycle. The only thing that I did was tracking my period. But from the age of 18, I dealt with so many cramps, so many pains. I was uncomfortable in my own skin. I didn't know how to eat. I didn't know how to tolerate the PMS pains. I didn't know what was happening to my body. I felt stable for a certain period of time and then unstable. So I am not a doctor. I'm not a specialist. I don't have any educational background. I'm just a woman who has PCOS, who has a cyst on her ovaries, and was dealing with a lot of pains, a lot of hormonal imbalance. And eventually, I started my own journey into understanding what is happening to my body. It started with, seeing a naturopath, getting proper blood work done, getting the proper supplements taken, eating the right food, learning the diet. I went to an esthetician who recommended me the book In the Flow. I actually read the book. So there's a lot of research that I do on my basis, on my day to day, and I'm here to really educate, help you understand, help you learn what is happening to your body, and really try to help you live your best way. My goal, like literally, this is nobody's paying me to do it. I'm not profiting from this podcast. My goal to you ladies is I want you to sit at a table, either dinner at your home or with your girlfriends at a restaurant. And if your friend is telling you, girl, I'm craving chicken with salad, or girl, I'm craving a fat, juicy burger, your question is not going to be, you're just going to eat a salad, or why are you craving a burger so bad? Aren't you watching a diet? It would be, what phase are you in? Oh, you're ovulating. Makes sense why you're craving, salad with chicken and a side pizza, like one slice of pizza. Or if you're during your follicular phase, you're like, I just want to have plain salad with chicken and you're full. Or if you want to eat like a fat steak or nice juicy burger or like juicy tacos, nobody's going to judge you and they're going to be like, oh, you're ovulating, or oh, you're going to get your period in 5 days or 10 days. It makes sense why your cravings are higher, because our body will literally crave the protein that we're supposed to eat in each phase. And it's mind blowing, literally mind blowing. Every time, like, I have a menu on my phone that I use every week that I go grocery shopping. I've been doing this for almost a year now, synchronizing with my cycle, and I still, pull out my phone to make sure I'm not missing anything. I do remember the overall foods, greens, vegetables that I'm supposed to eat, but sometimes you forget. So I always like to double check, see maybe something exciting that I, haven't bought in a while that I should get now. And you should guys do it too. Like, you should literally, like, every time I'm craving, let's say all of a sudden I'm craving chickpeas, I open my menu and I'm like, oh my God, chickpeas, luteal phase makes sense. Or I'm craving beef. Beef is luteal phase, makes sense. Eggs and chicken is follicular phase, makes sense. So let's talk ovulation. You wake up glowing, you want to flirt with the barista, and suddenly you feel like the main character. Ovulation is the main character energy. Guess what? That's not random. That's your ovulation phase in full effect. Today, we're going to break it down exactly what ovulation is, how your hormones are working behind the scenes, and why this might be the most magnetic, confident, and high energy version of yourself. I always give this example, and I gave this example in my previous episode, where if you take two women who look exactly the same height, same black hair, blue eyes, same skin tone, dressed the same way, if they're going to a club, men in their nature, they don't know this, but the male will be attracted more to the woman who's ovulating rather than a woman who is in her luteal phase already 1 week in. Okay, it's just Mother Nature. That's how we are created. Every single month, your body is preparing to give birth to another body, to conceive, to get pregnant, to give life, another life to this earth. So it's a beautiful thing. Stop looking at your body, at your period, as a shameful, oh, this period comes around again. No, 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 no. This is not the mindset we're here to tolerate. We're here to embrace. We're embracing our hormones. We're embracing the change that is happening into our body. Now, what is ovulation phase? Ovulation phase is the release of a mature egg from an ovary. Happens mid-cycle, usually day 12 to 16, depending on your cycle length. So follicular phase lasts 10 days. Ovulation lasts 4 days. It doesn't mean you're ovulating 4 days. You're ovulating only one time in that 4 day window. Then we go into luteal phase. Luteal phase is the longest phase from all and the most annoying one too. It lasts 14 days, so 2 weeks. And then you have your menstrual cycle, depending. It lasts between 4 to 6 days, depending on how your bleed goes. This is your most fertile time, when, even if you're not trying to conceive. So my single ladies, if you have your situationship going on, or you're sleeping with, gentlemen's, make sure to stay away from ovulation window. I know we're very fertile, we're very horny, we crave sex, we crave attention, we crave that physical touch, but you want to be careful. Even if you're using condom, God forbid something happens to the condom and it breaks, you want to make sure, you're not ovulating, your egg is not falling and waiting for another sperm to hit the window, if you know what I mean. You have to be careful. Also, if I hope you're not taking any birth control, because this podcast is all about, we're not fucking our hormones. We're trying to have a relationship, a stable relationship with them. Okay, birth control fucks that relationship. It's the devil out of the two. Okay, we want to be the angel, not the devil. So if you're not taking birth control and you're having protected sex, which I hope you are, because no situationship is worth you having unprotected sex, or doing extra things that you're not supposed to do. Make sure you're protected. But keep in mind, ovulation is the highest fertile window, so the chances of you getting pregnant is very, very high. Think of ovulation like the peak of your inner summer. Literally, what happened today, 40 degrees. It's been the hottest day of all days in Canada. You're glowing, you're energized, and you're biologically built to connect. Thank you, Mother Nature. Now, let's talk about hormonal shift in ovulation. What is happening behind the scenes? Estrogen is at peak. You have clear skin, energy, confidence, and sharp thinking. Literally, me today. I feel like I am glowing. If you're following me on Instagram, makeup sits different, skincare sits different. I feel different. I'm more confident. I want to flirt with the barista, literally. Now, there's a LH level that should be tested. If you are getting your hormones done, make sure your doctor is actually prescribing that LH to be tested as well. It's really crucial in our hormonal tests. So LH spikes, which triggers ovulation. Testosterone rises slightly. It increases our libido, assertiveness, and attraction. Now, as you know, everybody has there, it's called yin and yang. Like, if you look at a human body, it doesn't matter if it's male or female. It's, if you split it in half, you have the female side and you have the male side. If you are connected to your femininity, your feminine side will be more dominant than your masculine. Same as male. Some males will be more feminine. It's all about balancing those hormones. So everybody, we share a lot of our hormones, specifically the testosterone one. So when it rises, if you have PCOS and your testosterone is high, that is when you have, hair growing on your chin, excess hair growing on your back, or places where a female wouldn't have hair growing there because your testosterone is too high. So we need to make sure, you're eating proper foods, you're exercising, you're doing things to flash their hormones when they're rising. You want to make sure they're also dropping and they're flashing out of your body. Dandelion and peppermint and spearmint and raspberry leaf tea really are helpful to flash those out. Okay. Now, because male are known for their testosterone driven body, right? They're driven in testosterone. So when our testosterone is driving, it makes sense why we become more assertiveness. Our libido increases because male have higher sex drive than women. Our sex drive really, really varies. It goes up and down as we move through our cycle. It's not just in your head, it's your hormones. So how your ovulation phase might affect you emotionally and mentally. So, mentally and emotionally, you're more confident, you're outgoing, you're more focused and sharp, you're social and magnetic. You want to connect, collaborate, and even flirt, okay? Physically, you're more attractive, you have glowing skin, bright eyes, higher voice pitch, and you're creative and more expressive. So, if you're in a relationship and things have been sitting on your heart, during ovulation phase that's the time when you would feel like you want to express where your relationship is at with your boyfriend or your partner, or if you have things that you're working on with your girlfriends. It's the perfect time to communicate because naturally you find a way to express yourself thanks to ovulation and the hormones taking over, right? However, you want to be careful because we would also be seeking validation more. So your energy is external, so be mindful not to burn at all. You're in your yes era, but don't say yes to things just to be liked. Meaning, if you are ovulating and you are invited to an event where you feel iffy, but you're ovulating and you feel like going out, meeting people, connecting, be careful that you're not doing it for validation to feel a certain way or to do a certain things, because those validations can also hurt you because you do become a little bit more sensitive. So you want to be careful from who you're asking attention from, like from who you're seeking attention. It's really important to remember. Now, we're going to talk about what to eat. I will give you an overview and then we're going to cover the menu in the book, okay? What to eat to fuel the glow. Now, Because we're burning more energy, it's great time to focus on vibrant, detox-friendly foods. You want to focus on leafy greens, veggies to detox estrogen, berries and citrus fruits such as like filled with vitamin C and antioxidant. You want your protein would be salmon, eggs, and lean beef. You want to have healthy fats and proteins, okay? So pumpkins and flax seeds are amazing, as well as guac, olives, and nuts to support hormonal balance. Tons of water and herbal teas such as dandelion and peppermint tea. I always say in my opinion, there's 5 teas we all should keep in our house, starting from dandelion, um, spearmint, peppermint, raspberry leaf, and Yogi's tea has amazing line. They have different lines for sleep, mood supporter. If you're getting sick, they have Egyptian licorice. I think they also have like something with sick. It really helps to kill any flu that you have, starting to pile up. It really, if you drink it the night before, you'll wake up like brand new if you're feeling sick. The foods that you're eating, you want to support your hormones, but you don't want to spike them. Ovulation is the time to nurture, not restrict, okay? Now let's go over our menu in the book to give you the precise fruits, vegetables, and protein that you should be eating. This is the perfect time to grab a piece of paper and a pen and make some notes, okay? So for grains in ovulation, we're gonna do corn and quinoa, okay? From vegetables, we have asparagus, bell peppers, Brussels sprouts. We have chives, dandelion, eggplant, scallion, spinach, and tomatoes. For fruits, we have apricot, we have cantaloupe, we have coconut, fig, guava, raspberry, and strawberries. For legumes, we have red lentils. For nuts and seeds, we have almonds, flax seeds, pecan, pistachio, and pumpkin seeds. For meats, we have lamb, and seafood, we have salmon, shrimp, and tuna. For other, we have a category for other. It says alcohol and moderate, chocolate, coffee, ketchup, and turmeric. Now, key thing to remember, I remember when I was trying to lose weight, a lot of times the things that I was recommended to eat were a lot around chicken and eggs and greens. However, it will literally not help you survive during your luteal phase. It's amazing in your follicular phase, but it will do harm if you do it for 1 month. You'll be hangry and pissed and unbalanced. For 2 months, for the second month, you're just going to crash, talking from experience. So you want to make sure you're rotating between the proteins you're eating. Ovulation phase for all my seafood lovers, salmon, shrimp, and tuna, canned tuna, or Costco sells amazing frozen tuna. You can do poke bowls, you can do sushi tacos. There's so many ways you can cook tuna. Salmon, you can bake it in the oven or do like raw. If you buy, again, Costco sells really nice raw salmon that you can use for poke bowls as well. It's the perfect time to tune into your seafoods and really diverse your food menu. Leave the chicken aside, ditch it, and keep it in follicular phase. Especially if you're following the menu, I've been eating chicken and eggs for the past 10 days. Now I'm like, okay, enough with the chicken. I can't look at it. Let's move over to salmon. I bought tuna today. I bought canned tuna and fresh tuna. I bought smoked salmon as well. So those are going to be my proteins for the next 4 days, as well as some guac, some healthy fats. And you can also do some lean beef. Okay, beef and turkey is the main protein for luteal phase. So you see how your protein intake really changes as you move through the cycles, and I really recommend you focusing on them. It helps you diverse your menu. When you go to the grocery shopping, you don't feel like you're buying the same boring thing over and over and over again. You're being creative, you're diverse, you're trying new things, you're trying new menus. It's more exciting, okay? You want to make sure your diet plan is really exciting and not making you sad or like upset. After we talked about what foods you're going to eat, let's cover best workouts to do during your ovulation. Your strength and endurance and motivation are high, so use it safely. Best workout is strength training, progressive overload, so increasing weights at the gym, cardio classes such as spin class, HIIT class, or boot camps, group workouts such as dance Pilates or hot yoga. This is your personal PR, which is personal record week. Go heavier, go harder, and record it. However, use it safely and mindfully, because after those the 10 days of follicular phase, 4 days of ovulation, once you enter luteal phase, so a week later, if you hit your personal record, PR record, don't be surprised if you can't hit it again in a week or 10 days, because your hormones dropped, your energy level changed. You need to be aware. Try to hit another personal record during ovulation to outbeat the weight you did, or try to hit the same weight once you're ovulating again, but try not to do it a week later and be mad at yourself for saying that you're weak or what happened, because you literally feel like fainting and you will destroy your body. Okay. Now, ovulation in work and relationship. In work life, you feel more verbal, social skills are on fire. Perfect time to connect, to go out there, do networking, meet people. Perfect time to present, pitch, network, lead, and create content. Okay. Your brain is sharp, you're fast, and you're persuasive. Use it wisely. Now, for relationships, you're more affectionist, you're flirtatious and magnetic. Libido is at its highest. You are craving a connection, emotional and physical. Be mindful of old flings showing up. Okay, ladies? I always like to give this example. If you have a pet at home, it's going to be a little bit inappropriate, but we keep it real, raw, and unfiltered here. So if you have pets at home, and when they're, a little bit on the hornier side, they will literally have a play session with your pillow. Okay. That's how women are during their ovulation phase. Something in us fires up, our biological clock is turned on, and we are preparing to have an emotional connection with someone else. So be careful, and don't be surprised if you're trying to reach out to your old flings, your situationships, and be careful that if you're looking for validation, where things are at with you guys, or looking for that extra touch and hug and that moment in bed, make sure you're asking it from the right person, because we're also sensitive and we don't want to get hurt. Okay. Now, your feminine energy is loud. People feel it, but don't forget to check in with yourself, not just who is responding to it, not the guy sliding into your DMs, but also pay attention that you're not spreading yourself too thin. You know what I mean? Like, you'll notice if you're ovulating, I don't know, make a note in your calendar or check in to make sure that you're ovulating. When you go into a store, random guys will stare at you, all of a sudden smile at you, open the door for you. Like, people just reach out for help because of that glowy look. The skin is glowy, the eyes are wider. We feel more feminine, and like we feel like the woman we always wanted to be. That's how we are in ovulation. Now, what to avoid or be cautious of? Overcommitting. You feel like you're limitless, but luteal phase is around the corner. You'll want to reset later. So make sure, if you're in your ovulation phase, remember that it only lasts for 4 days. Okay. Make sure that when you're at your peak, you're not scheduling something for a week later and be like, oh shit, a week later, your energy levels drop. You're not going to feel the same. So I don't know how committed or energetic you'll feel in a week, right? So my best tip during ovulation, if you're feeling your best, make sure you're looking at 1 to 2 days forward, not a week later. Because a week later, we're dealing with a different beast. Our different personalities come out. Our hormones are changing and shifting. So I don't know if you're going to tolerate or have the same spark and energy a week later. Okay. That's why it's called synchronizing with your cycle, because we don't want to make long-term decisions based on short-term hormones. Okay. The closing message for ovulation. Your ovulation phase is a gift. It's the version of you that's confident, radiant, and fully in her feminine power. This is the time to create, to show up, and let your light be seen. You don't have to shrink just because the world doesn't always knows how to receive a woman in her power. This is your glow up week. Enjoy it, own it, and walk in it. It's really important as a woman to woman, first of all, to learn and educate. I know Rome was not built in one day, and I know a lot of information could be, overwhelming, a little bit too much. You don't know where to start or how to do it. Start by listening to this podcast, start by implementing the menu change, and focus on your workouts, on what to do at the gym. You know what I mean? Make sure you are well diverse. If it's with signing up for extra classes in your gym, Good Life, whichever gym you go to, or if you have like a Pilates membership, make sure you are switching and adjusting, and you know have multiple sorts of activities available for you, such as swimming, yoga classes, dance classes, hit cardio classes, or maybe just lifting weights. Make sure you are aware of the weights you're lifting. Some of, like, some in some phases you can go as high as 40 pounds, and other phases you can only lift 5 pounds. It really varies. Make sure you are, you're sharing this with your girlfriends. I feel like if you take a friend and you go on this synchronizing journey together, it's so much easier. I feel like for myself and my group of friends, the moment I started synchronizing with my cycle, everybody started synchronizing too. So I feel like instead of me judging my friend, oh, she said she wants to, I don't know, she's watching her calories and now she's craving a massive burger. Like, what do you mean you're craving a burger? You're on a calorie deficit. Now I understand that she's craving a burger because she's closer to menstrual cycle. She's going to bleed soon, so she needs that higher calorie intake. So we really need to support. If you're gathering together with one another, a lot of times you'll see how you are synchronizing, right? If you spend a lot of time together, you'll end up getting your cycles very similarly, like a few days apart. So it's easier to gather and like plan what restaurants to go to, or if you're having like a nice dinner at home, you know what type of food to cook, because you'll be synchronizing in the protein that you're eating, or the greens, or the calorie intake, and so on. So be careful to not to overdo it in your ovulation. Make sure you're, if you're asking for that reassurance, make sure you're asking it from the right people. Like, you don't have to be in a committed relationship, but make sure, the males that are in your life, if you're not married or in a relationship, make sure you're asking the right person for attention or validation, or for like emotional and physical support. Okay, it's nothing shameful in being hornier or craving more sex or intimate time with your partner, spouse, or situationship. It's very normal. It's in our nature. Okay. Enjoy the glow up, enjoy the beautiful, radiant look, skin, attention. It's here for a reason, because luteal is a different beast. It's longer, it's frustrating, and it's split into two. It has like you still are patient with people to the point where you have zero tolerance to people. You can't stand or see or talk or, process opinions in luteal phase, especially the last week before your period. So you want to make sure you are, seeing less people or booking less gatherings with your friends because of that phase you're in. Like, be aware. We're going to cover more about luteal phase. Once I'm in my luteal phase, I'll record that episode, which will be probably next week. I just feel like it's easier for me to communicate exactly how you're going to feel in each phase. Like today, I felt like dressing really nice. I felt like I got so many compliments from males, from females. Like, even giving out compliments felt so good. Like yesterday, we went to a pool and I complimented this woman in the change room. She was beautifully hot looking, female. She was in her 40s and she was there with her boyfriend and she looked phenomenal. Like I wish I looked like this in her 40s. She was wearing a leopard full bathing suit. She was all curvy, fixing her makeup, being all feminine. Like I don't know. I love when women support women. I love when women give compliments to other women. We're never competition. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. We shine our lights in different times in a different way. So we need to embrace it and love it and stop hating it. If you're listening and you're trying to learn about hormones in general, so there's probably a reason why you're listening. I know, unfortunately, PCOS is around more than it used to be. A, because the consumption of birth control. If you ever took Plan B, okay, if you took a Plan B from a fear of getting pregnant, so what Plan B does, and I'm going to share something here. I've taken Plan B before without knowing the consequences, but I was just fearing that what if I get pregnant? I'd rather take Plan B just to be safe. And I took it few times. But what Plan B does to you is it stops the egg from falling. So instead of when you come to ovulation and ovulating that egg, it holds the egg inside. So what end up happening, you didn't ovulate that egg properly. It sits there, it accumulates liquids, and that's how we have a cyst develop in our ovary. Okay, it's a very common reason. Plan B is number one cause for it. So if you have a cyst in your ovary, Plan B could be the reason. It also, imbalance of hormones could be it too. So synchronizing, eating the proper food, working out, energy, trying to, what's the right word? Living in peace, journaling, meditating. If you have therapists, I feel like living your optimal and being your best version, it doesn't stop with just one subject thing. It changes, it varies, like you just, like same thing as relationship. Your relationship 1 year ago looked differently than it looks now because we evolve, we develop. It's normal to change our minds. So I feel like same with our ovulation phase and our entire hormonal cycle system. If you educate yourself, you finish the 4 episode series and you feel like, I'm ready for the next step, your next step could be going to see a naturopath. I don't know if I would recommend mine because I know she's a very busy lady, but I'm sure there are plenty of amazing specialists out there. If you have benefits, a naturopath is covered. It is a long journey. Like you need to, first of all, find a naturopath. You need to sit down. You need to have a one-on-one with them. It's probably a 90-minute meeting. So she gets to know you. Then she schedules what type of blood work she wants you to get done. She gives you the list. You go to your family doctor. You get the prescription. You then go and get your blood work done until the blood work is actually is ready for you. Then you go to the family doctor. The family doctor reads the blood work results. He gives you a copy. You send it to your naturopath. You book an appointment with your naturopath. Then you do a follow-up test. Like for me to be diagnosed with PCOS, she realized that from day one, but the final diagnosis was put a year later. But I started to take the supplements from the moment I entered her office. So we were healing the symptom because without it being finalized, like on a piece of paper, without putting the red stamp that it's a PCOS, or I have PCOS and what do you call it? Endometriosis. I also have endometriosis, and she figured it from day one, but it took a while. So you need to be patient because of our healthcare system. It does take longer to get results. It does take longer to be put with a diagnosis, which sometimes it's good when the diagnosis is put too quick. You also need to be careful. That's when you want to have at least 3 specialists giving an opinion. You know what I mean? You can also do a background research. I feel like our bodies are naturally trained to heal itself if we don't interfere, if we eat the proper foods, if we take care of our bodies. However, sometimes because of the times and age that we live in, the foods are not always the cleanest. We don't always breathe the cleanest and freshest air. We need to help our body heal, right? So make sure you are operating on an optimal level from mentally, physically, and emotionally to really feel your best. Like sitting here today, I've always talked about the grief journey, but it's been 4 years for my mom and 3 years with my dad. And only now it doesn't affect me as much anymore. I'm sure, grief has its curves and it will hit later down life. And, maybe when I'll have kids or be pregnant or like have a real solid relationship, that's when I will be seeking that parental validation and support. But right now, I'm very stable, but it also took a lot of energy, a lot of trying different things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. And a lot has to do with working out, synchronizing with my cycle, eating the proper foods, and understanding what is happening to my hormonal system. So I recommend this to you as well. Be patient. Make sure to tune in to the next episode, the third episode from the series. We're going to cover luteal phase. It's a different beast. It's a different types of foods, proteins, hormones, energy levels, workouts, and so on. So it's going to be an exciting one, but I want you to have a full picture to know how to best treat your body. You know what I mean? But I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. I hope you love this new scenery. A lot behind the scenes happened to make it happen. And I have to thank my ovulation phase for my creativity and energy to change and make this room better and, record this episode in general. If you're following us on Glow with Lola Instagram page, thank you so much for all the love and support. If you are not, make sure to follow us. I also have a Facebook community with the same name and TikTok, same name. If you love this episode, I would love for you to leave me some rating, put some 5 stars, thumbs up, subscribe to wherever channel you're listening on. I love you guys and I appreciate all the help and support. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy your body, and I'm so proud of you for tuning in and learning how to be your best version. Love you guys.